fella said to me, the worst thing that was ever given to a New Zealand farmer was a four-wheel drive tractor. He'll think he's invincible, he'll just go anywhere with it.
Welcome back, guys, from GRASSMEN. It's good to have you guys all back here. A couple of years since you're last here. My name's Michael Austin, so John's son. I've been in the business now since I left school, which was when I was 15. All I ever wanted to do was drive tractors and be a contractor, and it's in the blood, so here we are, still doing it. Some days you wonder why, but the good parts make up for the tough days. So I guess my first year started out doing a bit of all sorts really. I guess for me it was a little bit tough. I guess everyone expected me, being the boss's son, to know it all and how to do everything. But I was quite green back then and had to learn, and so I was probably pretty rubbish back at the start. That's had its good points as well. You know, I've learned by doing all the silly mistakes as well myself. So now I've got a fairly good understanding of where guys can go wrong and what can happen, and try and keep them honest along the way. So I guess my story is pretty similar to Dad's story, only I have grown up in the business and worked for Dad. I guess Dad started the business when he was about 21. He was the same kind of 15-year-old, or even younger really, 13 years old, running around baling hay with no licence. Said to the guy up the road that when he left school he wanted to work for him. He said, yes, you got to finish school and you can come work for me, and that's what he did. And then Dad bought him out Peter Hoare when he was 21, so he had a combine and a tractor at that point, and he's sort of growing it from there. Lucky for me, you know, Dad's passion for the industry, his commitment to doing a top job for his customers and providing them with really great service has been sort of provided the groundwork for the business as it is today. We're coming up 45 years of John Austin Ltd, and yeah, I'm really thankful that I get to be a part of it, and I'm really glad that I can, I'll be able to carry the business on for future generations. Yeah, a normal day for us here in the office, so we've got 4 customer services managers. My position now is sort of, I look after the grass, harvesting, baling, loader wagons, maize silage harvesting. Typically I'm here in the morning, get the guys going, talking to all the customers, letting them know when we're going to be there, taking any of their bookings, whatever, and then helping the guys get through the day with whatever they need, helping dispatch mechanics if needed, or you know, making sure they know where they're going and what they're doing. So we've got a pretty good booking system that I schedule all the jobs on and can send all the jobs out to the boys so that they know what they're doing. Being in the grass game, a lot of my job is checking the weather forecast as well, so that's a big part of it, which I don't know why, because I've got serious trust issues with the weather forecasters. I think if I ever fail as a contractor, I'll become a weather forecaster, because it's the only job you can mess up every day and they seem to still have a job. We've had an interesting season this year. I guess we almost got going quite early and then it got quite cold and wet, a bit of a lull there. We had a really good October. We were able to man the maize flew in the ground this year, good weather windows, and we pumped out a lot of work. On the grass side of things this year though, it's been quite quiet, definitely not as intense as other seasons. It's been quite cold and we almost got quite dry there, and the grass was sort of all over the place. It would come and it would go, and it almost went to seed there for a little bit in October, which is sort of unheard of, that sort of late November time. So yeah, now we're, mid-November, we are starting to wind down a little bit. However, we've had some more rain. We're so dependent on rain at this time of year. If we get the rain, the grass keeps on growing. Some years it will dry up and that'll be that. There'll be a bit of hay over the summer and the odd bit of bulk silage, but typically we're busy till Christmas, always busy till Christmas, and then dribs and drabs over the summer while we get ready for maize.
I'm Jayden. Been working here for about 4 months or so. Yeah, so just did the end of winter, started middle of the winter sort of thing, and did a bit of maintenance and yeah, just driving the chopper. So yeah, I grew up in the North Island. Pretty much spent my whole life up here, and did a couple of years down south just for something a bit different, and yeah, come back home now. So I grew up on a dairy farm ever since I was a baby really, and yeah, and I've always just been real keen on machinery, and yeah, just from a young fella I was always in the tractor with the old man, and then yeah, like as an early teenager and that sort of thing, just got in the seat and got plenty of days off school mowing silage and carting bales around and that sort of thing. So yeah, I always loved it, and once I left school just sort of got straight into it really, and yeah, loved it ever since.
So I guess as a company we provide a whole raft of services for our customers, everything from trucking, digger works, spraying, fertilizer spreading, cultivation, any sort of cultivation you're after, strip tilling, all of the grass work, big squares, conventional bales, round bales. We cover a very broad spectrum, and we're lucky to have a really good team that know what they're doing and can go out and do a top job every day. So yeah, right through maize silage harvesting, grain harvesting, small grain, barley, wheat, maize grain. Maize grain's probably a lot more popular here than small grain for us anyway in this part of the world.
Name is Caolain, goes by Kellogs around here. Don't really know why, just kind of stuck. So if you want more about that, you'll probably have to hit Michael up. He's the one that kind of branded me with that.
I think the reason why he's called Kellogg's is just no one knows how to pronounce or spell his actual name. I couldn't even say it to you right now.
But then where do you get Kellogg's out of?
Well, I don't know, I can say Kellogg's.
I'd say it's just because my first name is so hard to pronounce. A lot of them struggle with the names over here, so the nickname stuck, and we'll just have to agree with it as far as I'm concerned. Michael, John, Paddy, Liam, the whole lot of them, they're great fellas to work for. Like, from coming out here first, they've been very helpful, especially with the visas, settling down, getting you somewhere to put you up for the couple of months you're here. Then getting into the work, like, they're great with training people. They'll give you a lot of time with, what would you call them, senior drivers in the company. So you'd have lads sitting up to you for a couple of days. They'll make sure you're confident that you can go out on your own and you're happy enough with what you're doing. And there's great opportunity here from what I can see. My first year coming out to drive a rake, to being let off and something like this, it's great to be able to get the progression through the company. Yeah, it's a lovely place to work. You know, the people that come over, the seasonal fellas, you always have great old laughs with them. Yeah, like it'd tempt you to come back every year. Be ready to go home at the end of the season to see your friends and family at home, but come August, September, you start getting the itch to come back out again, because it's just, once you get into the system, you can't get over.
Grass is good here. Like, everyone gets all excited because like winter can be quite long. Just being around the workshop and that sort of thing, and so everyone's always just a bull at the gate, trying to just ready for the season to kick off and get into grass and that sort of thing. But I think, to be fair, I think maize is the big one. Like, everyone always looks forward to maize. It's just flat out. You don't have to worry about the weather holding you up terribly much, and yeah, you just hook into it, and I think that's probably most people's favourite, to be fair. Yeah, so I've never been overseas or anything yet, so how mad you fellas are about your grass, but yeah, maize is probably the big one where everyone gets real into it, and it's just a bit more of a grind, and just, yeah, a bit more consistent, and it's just a bit of a race to try and get it all in.
We just do grass because we need to do something while we wait for the maize to grow. No, I think there's always a big build-up for the maize harvest here in New Zealand. It's sort of the silage, what everyone looks forward to. It's definitely, typically it's real good weather, so not too many rainy days, and they're normally big days. You know, everything comes ready and it's really go, go, go. You know, I think that's why everyone loves it so much, is the consistency there. You know, grass, you're so governed by the weather, and You know, it's stop, start. You get 2 days of going, and then you have to stop for 3, and then you get a week at it. And with the cultivation, you've got a lot more leeway as to the weather. You can still do some cultivation in marginal conditions, whereas no one likes their grass getting wet, so we do our best to make sure that we get it off in good time. Dairy farmers over here, so most of our cows are outdoors. You know, we're starting to see a few more herd homes pop up or whatever, but mainly to be used as a place for the cows, a roof over the top of a feed pad, for example, or a place where the cows can go if it's raining or the ground's too wet or out of the heat of the day or stuff like that. So for us, we get really dry summers from time to time and wet winters, and you know, so having that feed supplement on hand to be able to keep cows going over those periods is really important. I think strip tilling's really taken off in the last few years. Definitely people are after that environmental feel, and I think strip tilling's one of those ways to, you know, reduce tillage, reduce erosion. I see a real benefit with it in some of the hill country, mainly that erosion control, and it also makes getting the maize off a lot nicer when you're in the hills. You know, harder ground from not cultivating it, tearing it all up. You definitely can climb around the hills a lot better.
The thing behind me here is a 4-row strip till. Probably not something a lot of us would see at home. I never heard of it until I came out here first. So like, we're going into bare ground, mowed, sprayed off paddocks or greys, and there's a rotary hoe there in the back, basically a rotavator but split into 4 individual tunnels. So she'll rip the ground, till it up, mulch it like a power harrow as such, and then the planter's hung off the back. It's putting down your seed as well. You have your tank in the front with a pipe running up the side, and it's blowing the starter fert, which we use is probably between DAP, Yaramilla, be the main two. It's blowing it to the back and it's putting it down with the rotary hoe. And then on the back of the planter we have a couple of, each row unit has a slug bait box and it's putting down slug bait in each individual row. From what I've learned over here, the biggest thing with New Zealand, especially up in the North Island, is soil erosion. So like the very, very sandy soils, as you can see, there's 0 stones, especially in here. On the hills mainly, if they got a big spell of rain, it'll wash a lot of the soil away. So the idea of the strip till is you're only working up the ground that you need to work. You're not working in between where you're not gaining anything, so it's helping keep the soil structure over time. The main ways that's done here is there's the 4-row strip till, so there's 2 of these. They have a soil warrior, which is basically the same kind of setup, but it's ran off discs. It's not powered by PTO. That's putting down base fert, starter fert at the same time, and then the planter comes in directly behind him, so one of the 8-row, either the Vaderstads or there's a John Deere planter, that'll follow him in, and through the Green Star system, the soil warrior maps out the field and he'll create the lines and they're sent over to the tractor that's planting, and it's all autopath. These are real handy for smaller farms, you know, you're in and out, you're not bringing a clatter of machinery into the one field.
Yeah, so with all our maize, we've got to feed it. Some people can put their side dressing fertilizer on up front when we plant. For us, a lot of our stuff that we do, we like to side dress, or what we call side dress, and that is with like a jetted opening disc, and we knife the fert in between the rows. A lot of guys will top dress, as we call top dress, and broadcast fertilizer, but the limitations with that are you've got to wait and do it right before rain, and then if you want to spray for weeds, for example, you've got to come back in there with a sprayer and go through the maize again. So the beauty of a side dresser is you're knifing the fert in between the rows, so we're actually burying that urea, and once you bury it, if it doesn't rain, it's not the end of the world. Fertilizer's still there for when you get rain, so we can keep side dressing the whole time. Plus we've got sprayers on the side dressers so that we can spot spray or spray the whole paddock if needed for weeds all in one pass. So with knifing the fert in gives you a lot more flexibility around weather, and also only having one machine go through that paddock.
So I'm from Westmeath, the Midlands of home, Ireland. I applied to Austin's right before COVID, couldn't get the visa. They were struggling to get visas for people who weren't here first. So then it was 2022, got an email back from them saying that their borders were open again, if I'd be still interested in coming out. So I applied for the visa, got back within a couple of weeks and booked the flights, got out here, started working straight away. First year here, kind of done a bit of everything. I was raking, spreading fertilizer, a bit of trailer work and stuff like that. Got a good variety, you know, I enjoyed it and it kind of tempted me to come back and do a bit more. Came back then last season and was working under Paddy in the office, so he looked after the strip tills last year. Got trained up in it, spent a bit of time with a couple of fellas that drove them before, and then I was kind of set free, stabilisers were taken off and I was on my own. So then, obviously coming back last year, I had to get a different visa, which was a 3-year visa I'm on now at the minute. Then I'm kind of like thinking to myself, I have the visa, I might as well stay coming out here, make use of it. Great to get away from the winter at home, there isn't much happening, but get out here, get a bit of sunshine, variety of work, you know, we're doing maize and big around me at home, so it's great to get some experience out over here. And then the planting season would normally run for around 6-7 weeks, depending on the conditions, what the weather's like. And after that, then I kind of just float around the yard, do whatever they send me at. Last year it was mowing, raking, bit of square baling, trailer work, just, you know, I don't argue, work is work to me. I do a bit of do a lot of grass at home. I'm working for a baling contractor, so I drive the mowers and do a bit of raking for him. It's nice to come over here and get involved with the tillage. The biggest thing that I've learned here is the Green Star, and the technology side of things is just, it's a totally different world than what I'm used to at home. It's stick a fence post in the ditch and just aim for it. I enjoy getting onto the grass, then afterwards you get into a bigger crew, you have a good laugh with a few fellas you're working with. Like I said, variety is what keeps the job interesting at the end of the day.
Yeah, nothing's changed on the machinery side since you guys were last here. We're still, I'd say about half and half Fendt and John Deere tractors. I didn't really know there were other tractors out there, to be honest, but yeah, no, they're definitely the pick of the bunch, I think. The yellow machines, well, we do have, that is a change. We had the mighty spray truck last time you were here. The mighty spray truck has gone to another place. We're now running 2 fast tracks and the 130 for spraying. So yeah, really impressed with the fast tracks, to be fair. They're real neat on the sprayers and the spreaders. The beauty for us with them is, I guess, their speed on the road. You know, spraying, you're always lots of little jobs, racing the weather, wind, shoot out there, shoot there, you know, just the speed on the road. With the front tank, rear tank of the sprayer, they're really well weighted, so real nice spray machine, smooth. Dom's been here spraying for, I don't know how many years now, I guess 6 years, and yeah, you'd be doing pretty well to get him out of his one. He loves it. He's had 2 icons the last 2 years, so he's on top of the moon. But yeah, no, real nice machines those. They wouldn't be for all the ag work, I wouldn't have thought, but for spraying, for us, that's where they fit. My favourite tractor, I think I'm a John Deere man at heart. I do love the John Deere tractors. To choose between the John Deere, the Fendt and the Fast Track, I think they're all really good brands, you know, and we're really lucky with our dealers, you know, we get backed 100%, so I don't know that I'd have a favourite. I think if I was a driver, I'd go John Deere, but in some applications, I think I'd go Fendt too. So I think they all have their place. We've got 4 new Fendts this year, 2 930s and 2 728s, and they are the business. Really nice. Tyre inflation on them we haven't had before, and that's just so cool to be able to pump your tyres up and down as you want. 728's a fantastic tractor, man. It's a beautiful mowing tractor, trailering tractor. I do worry at the moment we use 2 824s on the stack for grass. I think that, you know, in the future we might need to look at going to 900, or maybe they'll bring an 800 out again, who knows, but I just worry that the 700's just a little bit light on the front for stacking all season. We have had the odd issue with front linkages and stuff on the stack tractors, but we've had the train wheels on the back of the stack tractors. They're a real good job, them. They're real good. Man, they'd make even my stacking look good. Yeah, so we'd have them for 10 years, I guess. Nah, fantastic job. Just beautiful.
Nah, the way they work here is they kind of assign you to a certain machine at the start of the season, and that's normally yours for the majority of the season. But it depends what jobs you're doing. Like, I'd stick with this. Once the planter is taken off, I'll do a bit of mowing and trailer work and stuff like that with it, and other various jobs, drilling, cultivation. It's kind of one of the all-round tractors in the yard that just goes at doing anything. The only exception was last season I changed. I was putting a Fendt, which wouldn't be ideal for me. I'm not really a Fendt man. John Deere be my thing. I find them a lot nicer to drive, a lot of a simpler tractor. But yeah, I was thrown into a Fendt because they like the fence for the stacking. I think they're a heavier tractor. The linkages and that are built a bit heavier on them, so they're more suited to that pushing and shoving work. Whereas the John Deeres with the Green Star, the technology that's in them for doing the planting and the cultivation work is second to none in my opinion. Like, especially in the office for the management side of things, they're running an operations centre, so they can live view what we're doing in seconds. You know, Liam or Michael, Paddy, John himself can click into a laptop and log on to the screens in the tractor and watch everything that's happening. So, well, I'll probably get a phone call now in the next few minutes while I'm hanging around, but you boys will get the blame for that.
So I actually started off with a class down south. So yeah, John Deere's been something new to get my head around, and yeah, there's definitely pros and cons. It goes pretty well, to be fair. Especially this thing, like, it's a bit of a weapon, this one. I think just like throughput and that is pretty wicked. Like, they seem to have a fair bit of go, and you can push a fair bit through them, which is pretty cool. Bit more like all the controls and that sort of thing are pretty nice. At the moment, I think if I hop back in the class, I would quite like it, to be fair. Just the probably more the comforts and knowing that it's just what I know best, I guess. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I do love driving this. Like, they're a nice machine, and I guess it's just what you first drive, I guess, in a way, is something that you get used to more. I think I'd take the class transmission and all that sort of thing and put it in this. I think that's a better system, and it's a bit smoother, and I don't have it on at the moment, but the new John Deere 30R heads, that just eats everything up. Like, it's awesome compared to everything else. And it's between the two, like between a class joystick and one of these would be great. Like, I like the comfort of the class joystick, but all the functions in this is great. Like, you can just assign so much to control just from the joystick, and you can preset quite a lot of different things into that, and without having to sort of scroll through and change things, you can just access it straight away. So we've got the 97, which mostly just does maize, and then just the odd grass job and that sort of thing, and then we have 3 8600s as well. So 2 of them are like the front line machines that just chop grass all year, and then jump into maize as well. So they just run pretty much all year round, and then there's another 86 that is mostly just on maize and backup for grass as well. So we seem to use trucks quite a bit over here, just with a bit of long haul and that sort of thing. And yeah, like quite a few of them have got the trailer bog tyres on them, so they can climb pretty much anywhere a tractor can within reason. And yeah, and they sort of get around pretty well on some of the wetter stuff as well. Yeah, and they're just pretty efficient. Like, they can move a fair bit pretty quickly, and just helps sort of split up teams on heavier trucks on the long haul sort of stuff, and the tractors and trailers doing a lot more of the on-farm job. I think I've got about 7 today, so still a little bit short on the cart that we're doing, but most of the time I'm sort of running sort of 4 or 5 truck on my team most of the time. These longer ones will get a few extras.
Harvesters, yep, so we've got 4 forage harvesters, John Deere, and 2 combine harvesters, John Deere. So yeah, green through and through there. This year for the combines, we're going to get a new S770. That should be a good machine. The Brant dealership very kindly is going to sticker it up with an old image that Dad had on a combine in 1985, I believe. It was a 7700. Probably not known to the Irish people of the world, but Foot Rot Flats was a comic book that was really, really popular here back in the day, many moons ago, and it was in all the newspapers and whatnot, and he had an image of the dog with a John Deere hat saying, "We take care of every grain." And so I thought it'd be pretty neat to replicate that on this machine. Dad's been hanging out for a new combine for a very long time, so the old 9770, as much of a good machine as it is, it's going to be replaced. So yeah, looking forward to that happening and seeing his reaction. Yeah, and getting the combine this season, next season for the combines will be Dad's 45th year of harvesting. So pretty cool that on his 45th year we can have a new combine and have that kind of sentiment on the back. I don't know, I might get fired for doing it anyway, he might not like it, but we'll see.
New Zealand is very like home. You know, you're working in smaller fields, you're challenging conditions, like it's a home away from home to a certain extent. The fellas over here, the farmers, they put maize on the side of hills that we wouldn't see sheep grazing at home. Like it's chronic. It's hard to believe they make machinery work it. And the funniest thing I remember from my first season over here, a fella said to me, the worst thing that was ever given to a New Zealand farmer was a 4-wheel drive tractor. He'll think he's invincible, he'll just go anywhere with it.
So yeah, I'm full-time here, so should just carry on, I guess, into next year hopefully, and I'm not planning on going anywhere really. Like, I'm pretty settled back in Te Aomuru now, so yeah, see what happens. Quite cool working with all the overseas boys. Like, it's definitely good to have a good mix of all sorts really, but no, I do enjoy when all the overseas fellas come over. Like, this is really my 3rd year of dealing with guys from overseas. It wasn't until I went down to the South Island that I ever really had to work with guys from all over the place, and it's quite cool just meeting new people. And most of the guys that come over are all pretty keen just to get stuck in and have a good crack at it. And they're all sort of quite young fellas this year, but they've been pretty good. Like, haven't had too many major catastrophes yet, so it's been good. They're and everyone's getting stuck in, and everyone's a bit of a laugh, and it's good fun, eh?
I think we probably this year got about 25 guys from Ireland, England, Germany, Holland, Slovakia. Yeah, so that's a neat part of this job as well, is meeting all the people from all around the world and having those connections, and for them to meet other people in the industry as well. And worldwide travel for the ag industry is hugely driven by your contacts and people's word of mouth. And so, often you get guys following each other around the world and stuff, which is quite cool. So yeah, I guess we got a pretty close-knit team of about 20 full-time drivers, maybe 25 Kiwis, and long-term overseas residents, let's say, guys that have come over and never left. So yeah, we got a real good core team. Definitely really enjoy the overseas help. We do get a few guys returning from time to time, which is always good. It's always the best thing if you can get someone who will do 2 or 3 years in a row. The second year is so much easier for them than the first year. They know what to expect, and it's nice for us. They know where to go and everything, but most guys pick up on it real quick. We try to be a good place to work for, try really hard to treat the guys well and have good gear as well. And, that's sort of what we expect from the guys as well, to treat our customers right and look after our gear too. So I think the guys just really like the thrill of the fast-paced action here, lots of different things going on. The longer guys are here, the more they get to do. I always tell guys that just come at us with a good attitude and a will to work your first season, and we'll see what you're capable of, and we'll go from there. So guys coming back on their second time, we know what they're like. We can discuss with them and have a better feel for what they're going to do the second season. But I think guys like staying on because, it's a beautiful country. We've got really nice food, really nice people. We try to be a family business as much as we can. All of the team sort of like a family.
For anyone considering do it, you'll regret not going. The lifestyle is different over here, the people you'll meet. I'd still be talking away to people I've met on my first season here that haven't come back. So I'll have friends now in Germany, England, Wales, Scotland. The people you meet from around the world, it's unbelievable. But yeah, definitely come out here to anyone considering doing it. Travel around, it's a beautiful country. There's more to it than just driving these. It's great for us, especially around Christmas, New Year's, things get quiet, the work kind of dries up, so we get 2 or 3 weeks to ourselves, travel around, Some people go to the South Island, others stay around the North Island, so it's a great excuse to get and see the country, especially in the middle of summer.
Yeah, I keep coming back just a bit of a challenge, like especially coming up here. I wanted to come back to the North Island and have a real good crack at sort of doing a lot of stuff in the hills again. It's all well and good just cruising around in the tractor and trailer and that sort of thing, but when you have to deal with everyone next to you every day, all day, making sure that no one tips over or does anything stupid, yeah, it's a bit more of a challenge, and they're just cool machines to drive, aren't they? So just get into it and get after it, really. Oh, there's the odd day that I miss driving a tractor. A bit of variety is always nice, but no, yeah, pretty keen to just stay in my chopper at the moment, eh?
Yeah, so always on the lookout for good guys. If you've got, the most important thing is attitude. If you've got a good attitude and a willingness to work, you know, ability and skills can be trained, but you need the attitude for it. So yeah, if you're wanting to apply or do a season in New Zealand for us, my sister Hannah does all the marketing. She's actually worked for you fellas for a season there for a while. So yeah, she looks after all the incoming applicants. And
my name's Hannah, and I'm Michael's favourite sister and John's favourite daughter. So yeah, it's hard to beat that, I guess. It's not much competition. Even if there was, I'd still be the favourite. We do all our employing around mid-May to mid-June, so that's probably the best time to apply. You can send us your CV. We're looking for pretty much people from all different levels of skill, so you don't have to have been driving tractors or machinery for years and years and years. Some roles that we have here definitely need the experience, but we're keen to train people who are keen to learn. So if you're passionate, that's kind of the main thing that we're looking for. So our season starts in September and rolls round through to the end of April. So around 8 months, give or take. So that will take you from silage through to the end of Maize. New Zealand, our summertime is when we have Christmas and New Year's. We tend to have a bit of a quiet spell over that time, which is really cool for overseas guys who can go travelling around the countryside, and you get to see some pretty cool views. You'll get to know some pretty cool people while you're here. Whenever you apply, if we do your reference checks and we get to know you, then we will offer you a position, and we'll give you about 2 to 4 weeks to kind of make your plan, and you need to get your visa and your flights, and then from there we will find you accommodation, we'll get you sorted. When you arrive in New Zealand, we pick you up from the airport, we take you to get your bank account done, your tax numbers, and we take you to your new home. John Austin Ltd, I'm probably a bit biased, but I think we've got a pretty cool culture here. It's really cool for the full-timers to have a new group of people every single year. You meet so many different people from all walks of life, all countries, all different experiences, and yeah, it's pretty special. I don't think you get that same variety in other jobs or other places. I don't think that you can find somewhere like the Waikato. We've got an hour one way is black sand beaches, an hour that way is white sand beaches. You've got the snowy mountains. 2 hours away, Auckland City, the other side. So yeah, we're in a pretty primo spot. It's pretty good. Yeah, if you're wanting to get on the social media, we quite like putting bits and pieces up there for several different reasons. One is obviously to promote the business, and as a way to market things, social media is such a powerful tool these days. So we do most of our sales through socials, but then the other key way that we wanted to use it is to inspire the new generation and to get new staff who are keen and passionate about agriculture. And if you come and work for us, you'll definitely get a new cover photo and probably a winner Tinder picture. No, but maybe.
I guess my goals for the business going forward is that we continue doing standout work for our customers. You know, just I want to be the best place to work for and for people to have their work done. Good team environment. I don't have massive aspirations for growing the business much more. It's a pretty big beast when the wheels get turning. It's a lot of moving parts, a lot of late nights, and as with this industry. But I think you can't stop growing because you'll go backwards. There's always movement. Yeah, I guess for my family as well, I've got 2 kids now. That's another change. I've got a little boy, Ivor, since you were last here, and so if they want to have any part of the business down the road, then yeah, that's an option for them. So yeah, just keep doing what we're doing and living the dream, I guess.